Interestingly, that you brought up Kimberly and the DDP relationship there. Over the years, and again, we're talking a span of over 20 now. I'm not saying recently, but Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner made some very unflattering comments in print about the Nitro girls, and specifically Kimberly Page being too much of thinking they were too much of the show itself. Are you familiar with that? And did you have any negative interactions with the man who was certainly at a career high during this time frame?
Yeah. Well, he was a heel. And in true form, like if you think about media and you think about storytelling, now I'm not saying that those weren't his true feelings at the time. Again, if so, it happened, right? That it wasn't brought to us. And so he wasn't coming at us and bad mouthing us. And we just really didn't even pay any attention to it. So I think it's all about whether it's good or bad press. If they're talking about you, then it's good. Meaning, if he can play the role of the heel, say some bad stuff, and get attention on it. Look, 20 years later, we're still talking about it. So he did a good job. He's a smart guy. Like, you have to realize, especially back then, I think it's still probably the case, but you had to work so hard to put yourself over. And especially for the guys, and this is what I say, 20, 25 plus years later, I still sit back and I'm still learning the level of, with just respect and gratitude and appreciation, like what we were given, because we didn't know. I didn't know that not everybody came in and out of commercial bumpers. I didn't know that it's a competition for who gets the most. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that you got to go out in a dark match and prove yourself. And if you suck, you're not getting airtime, and you got to work it out in the dark matches, or you're going to go back to the indies. And then maybe you might get another chance to come back and do another dark match. But if you suck, you're not getting on air. I didn't know any of that going into it. You know what I mean? So I was, the word of the evening is oblivious. And yet, those guys, especially we really were giving something that I feel was such we were given an honorable blessing, that even though we didn't understand how big of an opportunity it was in that genre of wrestling, we all were so grateful for it. So none of us took our jobs half-heartedly or for granted. We were professionals, complete professionals all the time. We were where we were supposed to be, when we were supposed to be. They knew they could count on us for anything, anytime, any place. And so we naturally kind of got put over, to your point, because we had more airtime. But those guys, they every night, and still to this day, you guys know, wrestling is not an easy profession. It's not an easy industry. And what they have to grind. They're always out there grinding. They're always out there finding the moment and the opportunity to get put over, to be relevant. And now today it's like to be more, to be viral, to get enough views, to get people really talking about you. So whether it was true, whether it wasn't true, Big Papa Pump did a good job of getting people talking about him. That's why he's a Hall of Famer.